expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play. That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
All right. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. First of all, thank you for joining. I hope that you guys are all feeling well for today. Yeah. So while waiting for the time for us to officially start for today's sessions, just give us a minute to let more people to come in. We'll be starting the sessions very, very soon. And of course, while we are still waiting for the others to join in, please feel free to share this live post since we are also streaming this live to Facebook and YouTube. So maybe you can take your time for a while to share this live so that we will have more people to can that can participate in today's session. Yeah. Anyway, we will have an exclusive program to be given away to you at the end of this webinar. So if you are interested to know more about it, please stay until the end. All right. We'll be starting our session in 5 minutes, so please bear with us while we make the final preparations and in case some people want to join in the last minute.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our webinar series. We meet again. I think most of us are still new in this room. So, well, for your info, we've been running this webinar series since February, and today is our last episode. So, as for today's sessions, we are going to talk about next gen MDM solution aiding value change in retail and F&B sector. So I think this topic is quite interesting since all of us are familiar with it, right? So here we'll be revealing how mobile device management implementation can help to improve your business growth. But before we proceed with our session, let me give you a quick overview of today's session first. So as I mentioned, we are going to talk about mobile device management that is capable of increasing retail and F&B business growth together with our respected partner, Scalefusion, in order to provide you with more insights about MDM within this industry. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about Sindes. So, actually, Sindes is one of the local companies in Malaysia who provides mobile device management, and we are professionals in all aspects of device management, including device security, mobility, and increasing productivity within businesses and organizations. And if you are keen to know more about Sindes, you may check us out through our website that is provided on the screen. So it's Hanis here, and I'll be hosting today's sessions. So as for today, you'll be exposed to the current industry landscape, challenges faced by the retail and F&B sector, Scalefusion specific features which will help you in overcoming challenges of this industry. Not only that, they will also share you live demo of the key features on Scalefusion dashboard, as well as the snippet of a successful case with real-life examples of the sector firms using Scalefusion. And after that, as usual, we'll be proceeding with the FAQ questions with the guest speaker, followed by Q&A sessions openly for audiences. But before I start to introduce you to our guest speaker for today, I would like to remind you that if you do have any questions later, you can leave your questions in the chat down below. All right? So let's not waste time. I will introduce you to our guest speaker for today. So here is Mr. Sharath, one of the MDM experts from Scalefusion, and he will be sharing you with us more how mobile device management can actually help boosting your customers' engagement and also aiding employee effectiveness in this industry. So I think all of us are ready, right? So let's begin this session now. Welcome back, Mr. Sharath. All yours.
Thanks for the introduction, Hani, and welcome everyone. Um, Today's session, like Hani has mentioned, is basically to showcase how exactly can Scale Fusion help out from the mobility point of view or from the MDM point of view for the retail and food and beverage sector. To start off with, I see many of the webinar attendees are quite new. So this is a last leg of our webinar series with Sindes. So Sindes is our partner for the Southeast Asia region, especially in Malaysia. So we've been partnered with Sindes. They are premium mobility experts in the region, and we are honored to partner with Sindes and making sure that we are giving quality product and a quality solution to customers and stakeholders in the region. Like I mentioned, this is part 4 of the webinar series that we have started off in February. The first part being Scale Fusion, or basically how exactly is the landscape from the mobility point of view in the manufacturing industries. Then it was for the logistics and the transportation industry. That was the second one. The third one from the governance or the government point of view, and this one being the last one. So the agenda of the webinar has been set forth by Hani. Has been set forth by Hani, and that's the flow that we are going to follow. So without wasting any further time, let me quickly start sharing my screen and go forward with the webinar flow. So like Hani has mentioned, driving greater productivity with mobility and MDM for retail and FMB sector. That is our focus for today. To start off with, wanted to give a quick heads up on the Scale Fusion and its abilities. We are industry agnostic. We provide our services to all types of industries across the globe, but the focus for today is for the retail and F&B sector. The agenda, as put forth by Hani from the Sindes team, is pretty much the same. How exactly is enterprise mobility trending in this current day and age? Retail and FMB sector, what are the challenges that are generally seen? How can Scale Fusion help in overcoming these challenges? And to showcase how to overcome these challenges based on various features, we will showcase it over a quick live demonstration. Post this, we'll have a Q&A session wherein you can actually drop down any question and answers you may have. So over the course of this webinar, I'll request you all to go to your chat box, which is there on the bottom of your screen. Mention any question that you have over the course of this next 45 minutes to 1 hour. I will be able to answer it at the end of the session by at the end of the session. And post this, you can always get in touch with our partners Syndesk to sign up for a trial to test our solution, and they will be able to help you out accordingly. So right now, let's start with the webinar. Enterprise mobility. It has seen quite a significant surge in the post-pandemic world, wherein businesses, be it large or small, they want to go with the mobile-first world approach. Basically, they want to embrace the new tools and techniques in order to fulfill their business needs. That is where MDM comes into picture. So right now, we are seeing a lot of provisions being provided for the employers, providing employees with the necessary laptops or devices, smartphones, tablets, etc., etc. So managing these devices and the security around it is a major goal. That's where an MDM comes into picture. So MDM helps in streamlining the mobility side of the things, be it any kind of business, big or small. And MDM as an industry, or mobility as an industry, has evolved for greatly over the past 15 years or so, and more so in the past 5 years or so. So wanted to understand with through a quick poll, are you using any MDM solution at your current at your organization currently? If yes, but also evaluating other solution, please use the option A. If not, but looking for a solution, please use the option B. uh, we have 30 seconds left for this poll. This will help us to gauge the kind of audience that has arrived at this webinar, and I'll basically this webinar will be able to help you out in sort of providing your necessary insight on what exactly is MDM, what exactly does Scalefusion provide, and how Scalefusion can add value. We have about 15 seconds left now. We are getting good number of responses. The majority of the response being not using any solution, not using anything but looking for a solution. That's good to know. We have a couple of responses when it comes to yes, but also evaluating other solution. We have 5 seconds left. Four, three, two, and one. That's it. The poll has ended. It's good to know that the majority of the answer is not using anything but looking for a solution. So I'm hopeful that this particular webinar session may be helpful in providing you the necessary general insight and how can Scalefusion add value. Now, how exactly is the retail and the F&B sector currently? What exactly is the landscape? So, the enterprise mobility market is expected to register as a CAGR, or a growth of 26.25% over the next 5 years. By 2026, we see that the uh, retailers will leverage enterprise mobility in their services to provide better customer experience. That's the first thing. To second thing, to maximize store performance. Third thing, to ensure that the security revolving around these devices are also taken care of. Now, what are the lingering challenges that we see? MDM solution, of course, presents a remote management and security capabilities. But what are the challenges that I see? Firstly, deployment and provisioning. Deploying or enrolling a device with an MDM and provisioning or a device and managing the inventory for efficient security and management. That is where we see a lot of challenges. So how exactly can a device be enrolled with an MDM? Basically, we need some kind of a software to make sure that the security side of the things are managed. So how exactly to provision this or enroll these devices with the necessary software? That's the major challenge. How exactly to ensure corporate content or the necessary content, websites and catalogs and the PDFs can be shared and accessed on these devices remotely. That is what is the next challenge. Let's just say if something happens to the devices, how exactly can the troubleshooting be done? Should there be an on-site person that reaches out to these devices from a point A to point B? How exactly can we mitigate this? So troubleshooting the devices remotely is also a greater challenge. preventing the device misuse. So since these devices will either be customer facing or an employee will be using it, how exactly uh, can the devices be strictly monitored to make sure that the device misuse is mitigated to the as less as possible? The other challenge being tracking the real-time location. Since these devices will be there in a set location or it may be moving around in places, how exactly can we track the real-time location on these devices to ensure that devices are not lost when there are, let's just say, hundreds of thousands of devices dispersed across workflows and across geography? Last but not the least, employee productivity. Once these devices are provided to the employees or to the customers as well, how to ensure that they are being used for the right purposes and to also avoid any kind of misuse or access to any malicious websites or application. That is where these are the lingering challenges that are seen, and that is where scale fusion as a solution will come into foray. So scale fusion, it's a solution designed to make sure that any mobility related challenges can be taken care of. We provide a secure and intuitive mobile device management solution for any kind of devices, be it smartphones, tablets, laptops, rugged devices, basically any devices running on Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac OS. We help out in various type of deployment strategies, be it corporate owned devices, be it devices to be set in kiosk mode, or be it devices set in agent mode. What exactly is agent mode? Provide necessary restrictions on the default user interface of the devices, but with necessary restriction. Also BYOD, bring your own devices. These are when it comes to this is when it comes to the Android devices. The same holds true for iOS, Windows, and Mac devices as well. ScaleFusion currently supports Android devices running on 4.3 and above, iOS devices running on 9 and above, Windows 10 and 11 devices, and Mac OS devices running on Mojave version and above. Now, how exactly can scale fusion help in tackling these lingering challenges, and what are the salient features of scale fusion when it comes to retail and the food and beverage sector? We provide an easy remote provisioning, or basically we provide the option of easily enrolling these devices with scale fusion. So we support, in terms of Android, we support zero touch enrollment, and in specific to Samsung devices, we support KME enrollment to ensure that right from the device unboxing, the devices are enrolled with scale fusion. When it comes to Apple devices, we support Apple devices, be it either iOS or Mac devices. We support DEP, or device enrollment program, wherein right out of the box the devices can be will be enrolled with scale fusion with the necessary security policies. When it comes to Windows devices, we support Windows Autopilot and Azure AD integration to ensure that there is a uh, seamless provisioning of the devices. Furthermore, when we mention ease of remote provisioning as well, uh, we need to ensure the necessary apps and necessary policies needs to be changed, can be easily changed through a centralized dashboard. So be it any kind of device, using a centralized dashboard of scale fusion, we can manage not just one device but thousands of devices on the go. The next one, specific to the retail and the F&B sector, is kiosk mode. Kiosk mode is something that we talk about a lot from in the MDM industry. This is more so applicable in the retail and the F&B sector. So we can turn any of the devices into a single app or multi-app kiosk mode. What exactly does kiosk mode mean is we can restrict the devices with few apps and few websites and a few necessary tools only, or we can also ensure that just a single particular application is the one that is running on the device. This particularly comes into picture when, let's just say, when there is a kiosk setup, or or a large display that is there for the customers to use when running on a shopping or a billing or a survey app, be it a private or a public. We need to ensure that over here in the kiosk mode, uh, certain security policies are applied in terms of the applications and the websites. We also need to ensure certain soft keys and the hardware keys can also be blocked to ensure device misuse is mitigated. That is where kiosk scale fusion uh, helps out in the kiosk mode. In terms of remote troubleshooting, we have a feature by the name remote cast and control, wherein we can reduce the device downtime by extending support in real time. So through remote cast and control feature within Scalefusion, we can not just take a remote of the device, but an MDM admin can take control of the device, diagnose what the problem or see what the problem is, take, raise the necessary ticket or provide the resolution right there, where let the device be spread across anywhere across the globe. This saves on the physical troubleshooting of the device, wherein the MDM admin or the IT admin does not need to go to the location physically to check out what's the problem. So remotely troubleshooting through remote cast and control feature helps in saving costs in terms of travel as well as in terms of time as well. The next being content and application management. This I have anyway sort of provided a general info in the kiosk mode. But basically, let's just say if we want to provision necessary application on the device, we can ensure through the application management section available on the Scalefusion dashboard. And we also provide a content management solution where we can share up-to-date catalogs or resources or interactive ads or presentation on the devices over there at any point of time. And we can also distribute not just Google Play Store application for Android or iOS apps through the Apple App Store or Windows Business Store through Windows Business Store or Windows apps. We can also ensure internal app or the private apps can also be provisioned over the air on these devices in a very simple manner. Custom branding, let's just say if it's a customer facing or an employee facing device, we can also enforce custom branding, wallpapers, app logos to reflect a sort of organizational branding on the corporate devices. On few of the devices we can also ensure the boot and shutdown animation, that is whenever you boot, whenever you shut on the device or when you power on the device, that animation can also be custom branded according to the logo or the animation provided by the by our customers. So custom branding is also possible. To reduce employee distraction, we can ensure that we can restrict access to just selective apps and selective web pages. This is to ensure the device is not misused, also to ensure there is no distraction at the time of working hours, and to also ensure the longevity of the devices in terms of battery and all the other aspects is also taken care of. There is a saying that, let's just say if a device is provision is on the field and its general lifetime is about 2 to 3 years, through an MDM we can ensure that the device longevity or the device life cycle can be increased to at least a year or two more. So that is where reducing employee distraction and to make sure that the devices are used for the right purposes. That is where Scalefusion also comes into picture. In terms of device and data security as well, we can remotely track the device, locate the device. Let's just say if the device is compromised or the data is something that is very confidential, we can remotely locate, lock the device, wipe the data. If needed, we can factory reset the data. That is what wipe the data means. And we can also make sure that we can protect sensitive information by just wiping the data from certain applications only. And we can also mark the devices as lost as well. Furthermore, to prevent misuse of the devices, or we can also enforce factory reset protection. This is to ensure the device cannot be misused, and to also ensure that the device cannot be sold in the open market. So this is where, from the device and data security point of view, Scalefusion MDM comes into picture. Furthermore, we also have a lot of reports, automated reports that are there to track the different parameters. So every company or every retailer or every FNB, every FNB sector always has automated reports. They require some kind of an automated report or compliance that needs to be taken care of. So this is where automated reports can be generated, and automated workflow or IT compliance can also be provisioned onto these devices. In terms of device and monitoring and tracking, we can track the device in real time and monitor whenever required over a location and through a location option. We can also add custom field to make sure that asset management can also be tracked. Basically, we can define an asset ID or device ID. We can provide relevant tags to ensure asset management can also be taken care of through Scalefusion dashboard. One of the key differentiators for the Scalefusion MDM is device sharing with profile switch. So let's just say if we want to enable device sharing between employees, we can ensure that automated geofence or time-based switching of the necessary apps and security policies on the devices can be done. We also provide a team communication tool or team communication suite wherein we can ensure that a messaging tool can be wherein there is a messaging tool inbuilt within Scalefusion that can be used to interact between the IT admin and the employees and between the employees as well. Through this communication tool, we can make sure we can ensure that voice and VoIP calling, video calling, instant messaging, channels or groups can be created, and necessary devices can be added. Transfer of voice notes or transfer of files and dedicated contact and call management, all of these things can be done. This is one of the key differentiator of the Scalefusion MDM. Last but not the least, related to the F&B sector is the digital signage. Through Scalefusion's content management add-on, we can also turn any Scalefusion managed devices into a digital signage kiosk, wherein the particular content can be displayed on and on, automated on a particular display, and we can convert any tablet or smartphone or an Android TV or a Windows TV or a Mac device into a digital signage as and when required. This particularly comes into picture whenever there is any kind of specific ads or any kind of display that needs to be running within a particular location within a retail outlet, or let's just say within a particular customer facing device. If the device is idle, we can ensure that a particular video is running all the time, and whenever a user clicks on or the customer clicks on the interactive display, the video stops and they can probably go about with the necessary process of interacting with the display in terms of, let it be a particular app or a survey or any of that sort. These were one of the major features or salient features of Scalefusion. Now, when it comes to the devices, of course, Scalefusion MDM can run will only come into picture whenever there is a device in place. So with reference to Android devices, uh, Android devices are the ones which are used most from the F&B and the retail point of view. So these are few of our OEM partners. What exactly this means is, let it be any kind of any kind of devices that you procure from anywhere across the globe, Scalefusion will run seamlessly without compromising on the security side of the things on these devices. There are few more other OEMs that we partner with, since Scalefusion is also an Android Enterprise certified partner, or Android Enterprise certified. We can ensure that devices that are running on the latest Android versions, the security aspect is taken care of. When it comes to Apple devices and the Windows devices as well, we have the necessary partnership to ensure the security side of the things are taken care of. To cap it off, what are Scalefusion capabilities? Like I mentioned, we support Android, iOS, macOS, Windows 10 and 11 devices. Be it any kind of deployment or any kind of scenario that we see, Scalefusion will be able to support you in remotely managing these devices. To reiterate once again, Scalefusion supports Android devices running on 4.3 and above, iOS devices running on 9 and above, Mac OS devices running on Mojave version and above, Windows 10 and 11 devices, except the home version. Let it be any Microsoft licenses, be it Pro, Business, Enterprise, or school or student or any kind of education. These are the licenses that we support. Home versions are not mentioned for the MDM side of the things. Now, coming to a customer success story. So, we have quite a few customers across the globe. So, to reiterate once again, Scalefusion currently provides support to about 8,000 plus customers across 120 plus countries across the globe. One of the major customers we wanted to point out is Huff Delivery. Huff Delivery is one of the foremost family-owned distributor of and retailer for a variety of food products to the groceries and convenience stores across United States. Uh, they are spread across New York and Pennsylvania states, and they're spreading across other states within United States. They wanted to basically provision their fleet of iPads dispersed across various locations. What are the problems that we're seeing? Configuring iPads in the kiosk mode, app distribution and updates, not just a one time app distribution and update, but rather making sure that the necessary app distribution and updates can happen over the air over a period of time to cut down on the data cost. That was also a major challenge. And device inventory tracking, this was to ensure that the device is being tracked at all point of time and the device is not lost, or the devices or an entry of the devices can always be checked upon and reports can be generated. These were the problems that they were able to that they wanted to sort of troubleshoot or wanted a solution for. That's when Huff Delivery reached out to Scalefusion. So with Scalefusion, we were able to provide the option of either a single app or a multi-app kiosk mode, wherein the iPads could be locked with just one app or multiple apps that the IT admin deemed to be necessary to be used on the devices. Furthermore, silent app installation and updates of the devices could be done through the ScaleFusion dashboard to ensure that the updates are seamless. By disabling non-work apps and by restricting the website usage, excessive data costs were mitigated. Alongside, we all through the data compliance policy through ScaleFusion workflow, we were able to provide necessary automated alerts to like whenever the data for the day exceeded, let's just say 60% or 70% or 80%. Necessary messages along with the what necessary messages on the devices were displayed. Alongside, whenever a threshold was passed, let's just say 50% of data has been used for the day or for the month or anything as such, a necessary message or necessary email alert would also go to the IT admin to make sure that they could take the necessary action. Last but not the least, through the location tracking and geofencing feature available on ScaleFusion, the device could be tracked at any point of time, and through the geofencing feature, the IT admin was able to ensure the devices are within the necessary premises and not going out of the premises. So this is a customer success story where Delivery is managing the fleet of iPads through ScaleFusion. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop down in the Zoom chat, and I will be able to answer any question that you have. Now, a quick 10 to 15 live demonstration showcasing the features that were mentioned on in this particular presentation. I will showcase it on the ScaleFusion dashboard. Okay, this is the ScaleFusion. This is the ScaleFusion console or the dashboard. The first thing that you see over here is the ScaleFusion deep dive. ScaleFusion, one of the main things that we have got to know from our partners and our customers is the ease of use when it comes to managing the device or managing or basically navigating through the dashboard or the console. All the features of ScaleFusion in making sure we manage the devices remotely in the best way possible are there on the left hand side. With reference to a deep dive, this gives a general pictorial representation of what are the devices that are enrolled, was the license overview, and all the necessary aspects. So, like I mentioned, ScaleFusion supports Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac OS devices. So, this gives a general snapshot of the inventory of what are the types of devices, is it smartphones, tablets, PCs, or Mac devices. When it comes to Android devices, what are the OS versions? What's the status of the devices, or what's the device activity count? In terms of iOS devices as well, what are the necessary information available? A general overview is anyway available. What are the different make and model of the devices? What exactly is the Android device activity, Windows, iOS, and Mac device activity? Available storage, available battery, all the necessary information are uh, through uh, uh, through this particular deep dive is available. However, this is just a good to have feature. Let me focus on the in-depth features of ScaleFusion when it comes to food and beverage, and the retail sector. To start off with, we have the application management section. In the application management section, we have few Scalefusion apps, uh, which actually helps out in necessary aspects. So we have a file doc application through which we can manage content management. Through remote cast application, we can manage the remote cast and the control, or we can take a remote. We can ensure remote troubleshooting on the devices can be easily done. We also have a Google Play Store integration, Apple App Store integration, Windows Business Store integration, and the private app store integration as well. So let it be any kind of private app. If you want to make sure that the applications are installed seamlessly on the devices before enrolling with Scalefusion or after enrolling with Scalefusion, it can easily be done. This is in terms of the application management. The next one being when it comes to application management, uh, kiosk mode or multi app kiosk mode. So if I basically sort of edit a device profile, we have the option for single app kiosk mode. So let's just say if I choose any particular application, for example, if I want an application by the name FileDoc, which is a ScaleFusion internal application to be running all the time, we can ensure that this is the particular application which is running all the time on the devices, and the users will not be able to access anything else. While running this on the devices, we can ensure even if the user presses the back key or the app switch key or whatever key that is there on the device, it will always by default come back to this particular application. Furthermore, if we want to ensure that the back key and the app switch key and all these software keys are also disabled, we can ensure these can be disabled. If we want to ensure the powering off of the device, the power button on the device is also disabled, we can always disable that. And this is where the single app mode and the multi app kiosk mode comes into picture. To cap it off, once again, we can ensure that a particular app is always running on the devices, and the necessary software keys and the hardware keys can be easily configured to ensure that the user interaction or the customer facing devices are being used in a proper manner, when proper manner in properly engaging with the customer when it comes to a retail and an F&B setup. Moving on, we have a content management feature as well. On the left hand side, we have a content management feature. This is possible on Android, iOS, and Windows devices, and through Scalefusion's app called as FileDoc. Once the FileDoc app is installed on the devices, we can ensure that a necessary uh, content or a supported content, be it an MP4 file, video, audio, a PDF, or any kind of presentation, whatever it is, can be remotely shared onto one device or thousands of devices instantly. We can also ensure that these devices can be added to particular folder within the devices or within the internal storage of the devices. All the necessary aspects can be done. We also provide a provision to ensure that Google Drive link of the content can be shared and can be dynamically published on the devices. So this can help us in basically mitigating or basically ensuring the cloud storage is not exceeded, and the necessary content can be shared on the device at any point of time. To know more about this, I would request you to please sign up for a trial of Scalefusion through our partner Syndes. Moving on, we also have a digital signage as a solution wherein you can create something called as a presentation. We can ensure that we give some kind of a name over here. Whatever content which have been published, we can ensure that it is published onto this section, and we can click on update and it gets saved. We can ensure that we can enforce this content to be running all the time, either as a part of a screensaver mode or in presentation mode. With this way, we can ensure that we can convert any kind of a device into a digital signage. If we choose this option, loop continuously in presentation mode, the necessary content, that is these three particular content, will be running in on loop at all points of time. And if we want to ensure that that this particular content is running all the time on the devices, but with some kind of a user interaction or some kind of a click on the display or on the device, this particular presentation mode should be stopped. That can also be done, and we can also ensure that in the presentation mode or by converting this device into a digital signage, we can ensure that particular presentation can be run as a screensaver as well. We can also display a shortcut to play on demand on the device. Let's just say we want to create a shortcut, and once clicking on it, this particular device can be changed into a digital signage at any point of time. That can be done. We can also choose an interval time between content when playing or on loop on the devices. So basically, to manage any kind of devices, any or to turn any kind of devices, be it an Android device, iOS device, or a Windows device, into a digital signage, it is possible, and all of this is available through a single console. So this is in terms of the content management, basically how to share a content, how to make sure this content can be changed in can be used as a to ensure that a particular device or a set of devices can be converted into a digital signage. Moving on, we also have a branding section wherein we can enforce a necessary basically we can enforce necessary a brand logo or a lock screen logo or a wallpaper logo, and we can also ensure the necessary icon size, branding, like a shortcut shortcut branding, transparent top bar. From the branding point of view as well, the necessary things can be taken care of. On few of the devices, namely Lenovo, Samsung, and Acer devices, we can also ensure the boot and a shutdown animation can also be configured to anything that you may want. So custom branding can also be applied onto the devices, and it can also be changed dynamically on the devices at any point in time. And this is something that the users will not be able to change. This is in terms of the branding. Next is the whitelisting of the websites or allowing the websites. By default, all the websites on ScaleFusion are blacklisted or not allowed. By using the whitelisting option, we can allow the websites, and this will open up on the ScaleFusion browser on the Android devices. And on the iOS devices, we have a particular browser by the name ProSurf. So this is where these websites will open up. We can also enforce the same policies of allowing websites on Google Chrome browser for Android devices, for Safari browsers or of Safari browser on iOS devices, and on Microsoft Edge browser on the Windows devices. With Google Chrome, Safari, and all these other browsers, we can ensure that we can blacklist certain websites only and allow all the websites. We can enforce safe search and all these things. To cap it off, we can ensure that the necessary browser management or website management can be done through ScaleFusion. Next comes the devices section. Once a device is enrolled with ScaleFusion, this is a section that we'll see. We have two views, a list view and a grid view. We can search the devices dynamically in the best way possible within these devices as well. I have a test device with me right now. I can ensure necessary individual device level actions can be taken. For example, lock, reboot the device, shut down the device, mark the device as lost, factory reset the device, and if I want to delete the device from ScaleFusion as well, easy provisioning can be done. Furthermore, if I want to do bulk action as well, I can click on these actions and I can lock the device, unlock the device, lock the screen, reboot the device, shut down, delete the device, rename the device. All these necessary things can be done on the devices individually as well. Moving on to the next part, we have the location and geofencing section as well. So if we have the location section, let's just say if the devices are dispersed across locations, we can ensure we have a map. We have the map ability wherein we can track the device at any point of time. If you click on any kind of device, we can click on show more details, and we can ensure if the device is moving or not moving. We can track the devices at any point in time. Location settings can be done over here on the left hand side. We can ensure we can force GPS always on. We can ensure location tracking can always be on. We can choose the location mode, be it balance mode or high accuracy mode. Location tracking, we can ensure it could be 1 minute, 2 minute, or 3 minute. Location sampling frequency, we can ensure it's a low, high, or a medium. This is to ensure that the battery consumption is optimized on the devices. We also have integration wherein you can add in a Google Maps API to ensure that this particular map, which we are seeing right now, is a leaflet app, which is an open source map that is available. We can ensure that through Google Maps API, this can be done on the Google Maps as well. Furthermore, we have a geofencing section wherein we can ensure that necessary actions can be taken. Necessary actions can be taken. Just to give an example, as the name suggests, let's just say if I'm making a geofence boundary, if we can ensure the device should stay within this boundary. Let's just say if the device moves out of this particular boundary, necessary automated actions can be taken on the device, and an alert can go to the MDM admin as well. And we can make sure that the necessary policy or necessary restrictions and everything can be done. So location and geofencing as a feature is available, which is paramount to be used in the F&B and the retail sector. Moving on, we have detailed reports and workflows, detailed reports and workflow as well. To name a few: data usage, location, app version, device inventory, uh, uh, unlock attempts, device vital, device availability, be it whatever kind of reports that we want. The MDM admin can generate it at any point of time. We have workflows as well, so a lot of IT automation tools. So a switch profile, let's just say if you want a time based or a geofence based switch profile, basically to ensure that if you want to provision necessary apps or security policies from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but after 5 p.m. certain thing needs to be added or relaxed, it can be done. Various type of IT automation or workflow can be done. I will not go too much deep into this. I will request you all to sign up for a trial to know more on what are the detailed type of reports and workflows available through Scalefusion. Another aspect is we have a hidden gem by the name of a communication tool within the Scalefusion dashboard. Uh, this uh, this as an option can be used to basically communicate with the necessary users, communicate with the device users at any point in time. Last but not the least, we have the reports, we have the remote cast and control feature wherein we can take a remote of the device at any point of time. So basically, if I want to start a session, I can start a session, I can take a remote of the device, and I can control the device as well. Without going too much into this, this is a brief live demonstration of Scalefusion. Like I mentioned once again, would request you all to sign up for a trial of Scalefusion through our partners in this to basically test out these features practically, and to ensure that to ensure that the mobility experts at Syndes will be able to help you out in the best way possible. So with this, I will just end my live demonstration, and uh, I'll go back to my presentation. So this was a live demonstration of a Scalefusion in action. This was a very short demonstration that I wanted to focus for. Like I mentioned once again, for a more detailed demonstration or more detailed POC, please reach out to our partners Syndes to go about this process. Now that we have just gone with the webinar and the live demonstration, this is the last poll. Would you like to explore Scalefusion as an option in your device in management infrastructure? Let us know if it's a yes, no, or a maybe. Great, we are getting a lot of good responses. We have over 30 seconds left. We're getting a lot of yes and maybe. That's good to know. We're getting quite a good responses right now. We're getting a lot of maybe. We can make sure that maybe can be converted to a yes or a concrete yes once you sign up for a trial of Scalefusion through our partner Syndes. We have about 15 seconds left now. We are ready to get the responses from majority of the folks. Okay, we are getting good number of responses now. We've got a good number of yeses and maybe. We have 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. The time has ended and the poll has also ended. The poll results are here. We have got a lot of yes and maybe. It's good to know that there is no one has chosen a no. So like I mentioned, once again, please sign up for a trial of Scalefusion through our partner Syndes, and we will be able to assist you in the best way possible. Now, let me just quickly stop sharing my screen, and I'll pass over the baton to Hani from Syndes. Let's move on with the question and answers. Over to you, Hani.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sharas. based on what you have just presented, I now understand that mobile device management is quite significant to facilitate the retailer to gainfully implement enterprise mobility and enhance the customer experience, especially. Not only that, it also helps to ensure the device is correctly configured, properly managed, supported, and secure. Okay, now is the time for the FAQ sessions with the guest speaker. So I'm going to read some of the frequently asked questions about mobile device management in this industry with Mr. Sharat. But before that, again, if you do have any questions on MDM or what Mr. Sharat has been presenting to us just now, you may drop your questions in the chat section. I will gathering all your questions for the next Q&A sessions afterwards, all right? Because I can see that some of the questions have been pointed. So we'll be answering your questions afterwards, all right? And please don't forget to stay until the end of this webinar if you're keen to know more about the exclusive program that I've been mentioning about, because we'll be revealing more about that at the end of this session soon. So Mr. Sharas, my first question is, I'm aware that there are a few restaurants open for 24 hours and there are times only a few people come to the restaurant itself. So what do you think is a good way to make a kiosk for a 24-hour restaurant when there are few customers came in?
Yes, that's a very good question, Hani. Kiosk mode, basically locking a particular display or locking the devices into kiosk mode, is the first key over here. That is achievable through Scalefusion. Whenever we see that the customers are flowing in and everything, we mostly see it as a single app kiosk mode. What exactly this means is a particular app needs to be running all the time, or a particular interface needs to be running all the time. Let's just say if that particular digital display or the device is running 24/7, we need to ensure that the device is always on. We need to ensure that there is no device misuse as well, and to ensure that the device is always on whenever there is very few customers coming in. Let's just say at odd hours in night time, where the particular store or particular retail store or particular store is open, we need to ensure that whenever the customer walks in, it is always available. It is always available. So what exactly we need to first do is, firstly, kiosk mode. Second thing is single app mode, wherein a particular app or interface is running all the time. Third thing is disable the soft keys, that is the back key, the app switch key, and the necessary keys at the bottom of the screen. That needs to be disabled. Fourth thing is disable the hard keys or enhance the hard keys. Basically, through Scalefusion, we can ensure that the device is always on. What that means is, even if you click on the power key, the device will not sleep. So this ensures that the device is always running, and we need to disable the power key as well if there is a need be. Furthermore, we need to ensure there is a constant supply of power onto the device. So let's just say if the device is not connected to a charger or anything as such, we can ensure a necessary display message can be displayed on the device. Let's just say if the battery level goes below 40% or 30%, to connect to a charger. And we can also ensure a necessary email also goes automated email goes to the MDM admin. Let's just say if there is any sort of let's just say if there is any sort of battery level that is decreasing, to ensure that the device is running all the time. So all in all, to cap it off, we at Scalefusion will be able to help you out in effectively managing these devices which are running on 24/7 by providing the necessary guidelines or necessary good to have things through the Scalefusion dashboard.
All right, that's great to know that. Thank you for your answer. I wonder, is it possible to receive virtual or online input from the portal when we set the kiosk mode itself?
Yes, it is possible. So, uh, of course, it depends upon the type of app that is running, and it is depends from customer to customer. So, from the remote cast and control feature that we mentioned, it is not just useful for remote troubleshooting, but basically user interaction or the online interaction with the customer can also be done through this, not just for the visual effect, but also a voice effect. We also support VoIP calls through a remote cast and control feature as well. Furthermore, if there is a server, let's just say if the app is running all the time on the devices, or there are multiple apps running all the time on the devices, which is customer facing or employee facing, it will be connected to their own internal servers, and the devices and the necessary data is stored in the internal servers as well. So we can ensure that there is a seamless connection between that, and to ensure there's an interaction as well through a remote cast and control feature as well through Scalefusion, we can ensure that there is a seamless interaction, and it can all be done through Scalefusion.
All right, that's great. As for the next questions here, I would like to ask, I noticed that most of the retail companies, especially F&B sector, started to use digital signage, right? I believe this also has the possibility to enhance the customer experience itself. So, based on your own opinion, why do you think that retail or F&B companies should use this digital signage?
Digital signage is a very powerful tool. If the device is idle and if it is customer facing, by ensuring that we automatically configure the device as a digital signage when it is not being used, wherein we can display ads, promote some kind of services, promote some kind of catalog, or provide some kind of educational video, or provide some CSR video or a social responsibility video, basically to create brand value. That is where converting a particular device as a digital signage comes into picture. Rather than keeping a device idle, might as well convert it into a digital signage and promote your brand. That is where digital signage as a solution comes into picture. There are many digital signage software providers that are there that charge a hefty price just to ensure that to convert a particular device into a digital signage solution. With Scalefusion, you get this feature along with a host of various other features as well. So might as well use this particular feature to the best of in the best way possible and make sure that your brand scales up. So converting a device to a normal device or a Scalefusion enrolled devices to a dedicated digital signage, or to ensure that whenever a device is idle to automatically make sure to convert it to a digital signage solution. It is possible through Scalefusion. I would recommend to be used this particular solution within Scalefusion to be used a lot in the F&B and the retail sector.
Yes, yes, that was absolutely right. I also agree with you. Okay, so this is going to be my last questions for you. What is the difference between a cloud-based solutions and premise-based solutions?
That's a very good question. Right now, cloud and on-premise, it has a lengthy explanation. But to make it very simple, right now, after the before the pandemic itself, but post pandemic, right now adoption to cloud based solution is seeing lot of traction. Since we are also a SaaS based company wherein we provide software as a subscription on a 1 year basis, 2 year basis, a 3 year basis, it gives easy adaptability of for the customers to adopt to a cloud based solution. What exactly does a cloud based solution means is Scalefusion has a partnership with Amazon Web Services, wherein we leverage Amazon Web Services to store our data, to store the necessary to basically host our solution on their servers. These servers are hosted in Europe and America, and few dedicated servers in the APAC region as well. What exactly does a cloud solution mean is Scalefusion as a solution is hosted onto the AWS servers. What exactly does an on-premise solution means is Scalefusion as a solution is hosted onto the servers or the data center provided by the customer. It's as simple as that. Basically, they want to ensure that the data is stored within their own dedicated server and it is not going across anywhere else, and it is secure enough. But mind you, in cloud as well, we can create basically multi tenants to ensure that the data is secure, and there is and to ensure that the data is secure and there is no leakage of data. Advantage of a cloud solution is you can basically access your Scalefusion dashboard anywhere across the globe. With an on-premise solution, it becomes a challenge. So this is the difference between an on-premise and an on-cloud solution, and Scalefusion supports both these solutions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sharas. That was a very in-depth answer for us all. I gained a lot of knowledge today. So that's all for the Q&A sessions with our webinar guest speaker. Now we are going to open the Q&A sessions with our audience. So again, if you guys do have any more questions about it, feel free to drop your questions in the chat section below. I'm sure that Mr. Sharat is pleased to answer all of your questions. So let's see what is the first questions that we have here. It's from Jamila Zainuddin. She asked how to implement on vending machine business.
Okay, vending machine business is a tricky question, to be very honest, Jamila. If it's something that's running on either Android device, Android OS platform, iOS, Windows, or Mac, I'm highly doubt it will be running on a Mac or an iOS. Basically, it may be running on Android. Not too sure how exactly the vending machine business works, but if you could let us know what exactly do you mean by vending machine business, is it running on any particular OS or anything as such, we can look at the option or look at the possibilities on how best can we help you out in managing these particular machines.
All right. So I think we move on with the next questions first. So the next questions is from Emily Ng. She asked, do the devices have to be factory reset to be enrolled and managed by MDM?
Uh, to give you an answer, yes and no. Why yes and no? I'll just explain right now. Whenever you purchase any new devices, it is as good as whenever you purchase new device out of the box, it's nothing but the factory. You can, it's a new device. Whatever exactly does the factory reset do, it converts any old device to a new device as well. Over there, we have no problem. Right when you power on the device, we can enroll with Scalefusion. Be done with the process. Let's just say if you have existing devices based on Android's mandate starting from Android OS 7.0 to enroll a device with Scalefusion, factory reset is very much required. Furthermore, in terms of Android or any kind of devices as well, there are two modes: corporate owned devices, that is, devices owned by the employer, and BYOD, bring your own devices. When it comes to BYOD, factory reset is not required, or personal devices are being used, factory reset is not required. When it comes to company owned devices or company owned COP, company owned personal enabled, or employer owned devices, over here, if they have an existing fleet of devices, factory reset is very much required to be enrolled with Scalefusion. Of course, the device can be enrolled without a factory reset as well, no doubt about it. But the necessary security side of the things, or necessary security features, or necessary security aspects, or basically most of the features would not function. So the best practice or the recommendation is to factory reset a device before being enrolled with an MDM. Furthermore, on few of the OEMs or the devices that we device manufacturers that we partner with, factory reset is not a hard and fast rule. So, Emily, if you could let us know what are the kind of devices that you're looking to manage, we can guide you through the next steps on what's the best way for enrolling in managing through Scalefusion.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we move on with the next questions here from Christabel Wong. It seems that she's quite interested with this. She asked, can it help to install post system, and what is the costing for it itself?
That's a very good question, Christabel. So, POS system as well, we do provide management for POS systems. So we have a partner with major POS system manufacturers across the globe as well. We can surely help you out, and our partners in this will be able to help you out in terms of installing or providing you the necessary information on how to go about enrolling your POS systems with Scalefusion, along with the costing as well. So for more information, Christabel, I would Syndes team will anyway reach out to you, but I would also request you to reach out to the Syndes team, sign up for a trial, and they will be help you out for sure.
Yeah, that's correct. And then I think this is going to be the last questions. There is no more questions, I guess. So it's from Nakita. I still not quite get about digital signage just now. Isn't the digital signage can be done with the normal LED billboard?
Yes, very good question, Nagita. Yes, digital signage can be done through a normal LED billboard. Yes, but how about, let's just say, if you have an Android device or Android display, Android TV, or a Windows or iOS related displays? Uh, Over there, how can you convert it into a digital signage? So that is where Scalefusion will come into picture. So let there be any device running on Android OS platform, Windows OS platform, or iOS platform, we can convert it into a digital signage very easily. On a normal LED billboard, it is not running on any OS platform or any OS. So it can just be used as a digital signage only. However, with respect to Android devices, Windows and Mac and iOS devices, it can be used as a digital signage, and it can be used for various other purposes as well.
All right, that's pretty good answer. So, all right, I think it's about time for the Q&A sessions. Thank you for all those who asked the questions just now. I hope that you guys are clear with the answers given by our speaker. So if you are interested or keen to know more about the MDM solutions, Scalefusion MDM, you can check it out. You can reach out us through hello@syndas.biz and also the phone number that is provided by our admin in the chat section there. So yeah, that's all for our last episode in this webinar series for today. I remember remember what I have mentioned at the beginning of the webinar just now. I think you guys are aware of it, right? So the exclusive program that I mentioned is the free Scalefusion MDM trial. If you are keen to know how MDM works for your business itself, you may sign up for the Scalefusion MDM trial for free. If you are in this room, you may check this registration link inside the chat box down below. Our admin will put there, and you may directly sign up from the link provided inside. All right. Before we all leave, I would appreciate if you guys could fill in the survey for today's webinar. Okay, you may find out the survey link provided in the chat or comment section. This might help us to improve even more in the coming days for sure, and hope that your feedback is actually extremely valuable for us. So that's it. We've come to an end of our webinar series for today. Thank you everyone for joining in this webinar and staying with us until the end. We're going to share with you guys more for sure of the upcoming days. And I hope that you guys are able to push your company forward in achieving a better productivity level and to increase your workforce capacity with mobile device management. If you guys have any more questions or any inquiries regarding Scalefusion's MDM again, or maybe you would like to give it a try in your company, right? So feel free to reach us out, okay, through our email, and we will forward it to our mobility specialist to assist you further on that. All right. So yeah, that's all for today. Until we meet again. Bye.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.
Scalefusion will expose you on the Scalefusion will expose you on the current industry landscape.
That is where mobile device management solution comes into play.